All right, so the first thing we're going to cover is custom audiences. We need to segment these in a specific way so we can milk each audience that looks to be the most profitable. That's the only way we can get those ridiculous returns. That's the only way I did it, and I'm going to show you right now. So here's a fresh account. This is probably what you're actually going to see, so it will be really helpful. We're going to go over here. We're going to click that this little sandwich thing. We're going to click right here to audiences. I'm going to open it in a new tab. And so this is where we're going to spend quite a bit of time. So right here you have custom audience, which we're going to be covering soon, and then we have create a lookalike. Now real quick, lookalikes is going to be really great, and Facebook is great at creating lookalikes. And basically what it is let's just say you have 100 purchasers. You can now go to Facebook and be like, hey, can you please create me a lookalike audience of people that are just like these purchasers and find me like 2 million of them. So now it's going to scour all of Facebook of people who are active and who are most likely to convert now that are similar to those 100 purchasers. And even though it sounds great, it sounds better than it is, because you still need to be at a level 10 marketing to really like master this. So we're going to create a custom audience, and we're going to have a couple sections. So this is the pixel, right? The Fish Finder pixel, and we're going to have a bunch of options right here, especially when you have purchases. So like if I actually go down to here, this is a different pixel, and you can see that I have, you know, a bunch of purchases, add to cart, and everything. So actually to segment this is super easy. So I want to do it in the fresh account. And the first thing we're actually going to be doing is a specific website visitors based off of, you know, how many days. So what do I mean by that? Well, if we go to our little sheet, we're going to first set up visitors in the last 3 days. So we're going to go website visitors in the last 3 days, and we're going to set that up like so. Boom, website visitors in the last 3 days, and we're going to have this as our new audience. So create this. Cool. Now the next thing is that we need purchasers. So we need to create a custom audience of our purchasers, which is actually going to be way down here. Let's say this view content were our purchasers, and we need to create 180-day purchasers. The reason why is because we're eventually going to have to exclude all purchasers, because we're only going to be retargeting people who didn't just yet purchase, right? And we're going to move this up to 180 days. And remember, imagine this says purchase, just like what this would say. See how this says purchase? just double check and make sure. So 100-day purchasers, create the audience. Cool. So see how simple this is? And so we got our visitors 0 to 3 days. We're going to keep going. And another thing is you can never double make an audience. So what do I mean by that? Meaning if I already made this visitors of the last 3 days, if I go and try to make it again, it's going to give me a red error and it's going to say duplicate. So I can't like double create an audience in an old account to show you. So that's why I'm doing it in a new one. So custom audience, website visitors, and we're going to go and check. And we're going to have 4 to 7 days and then 8 to 14 days. And I'm going to just kind of go through this 4 to 7 days. Now, what does this mean? Well, it actually means that we're going to go in the last 7 days, because we're going to use the 0 to 3 days to exclude the 7 days. Does that make sense? So if you want, we can just put 7 days, visitors in the last 7 days, because that's what it is. But the way I typed it out before is just so that way it'll be easier to know where we're going with this. So then we keep on going and so on. So, all right, I created all this, took about like 2 minutes. And so add to cart, visitors, we have pretty much everything we need. So let's go back to actually our sheet. Remember, we just need visitors in the last 3 days, visitors in 7 days, and visitors in 14 days. If I wanted to, I could just kind of delete this, but I don't. I want to show you why I'm keeping it. And then we do the same thing for add to cart people. You don't want to add another section of initiate checkout or anything. There's no point until we start really getting up there as far as like a lot of visitors to our site. Meaning if we're getting, let's just say 1,000 visitors a day and it's very profitable, or 2,000 visitors a day and it's extremely profitable, then we can start even micro segmenting, and we can even add in initiated checkout, and then we could even go ahead and put a custom coded video like what I mentioned before in our landing page, but we can have it coded from Facebook, and now anyone who viewed the video we can retarget and make lookalikes and all that good stuff. But the way I made my ridiculous returns was actually by sticking with this, because was actually by sticking with this, because we're not missing out on any traffic. We really aren't. Like, this is anyone who's a visitor and anyone who added to cart, because if they initiated checkout, they also added to cart. So these are really, really, really good people. Anyway, so now what we have to do is actually set up our campaign. So let's go ahead and do that in the very next video.